Welcome back to the most audacious EMS podcast on planet Earth, the ParamedicAF Show. We're here to challenge, encourage, and sometimes hurt your feelings. This isn't for the weak, the woke, or the apathetic. This is a show for the ones who show up and give a damn, the bold and the brazen. So stand up, stay vigilant, and enjoy the show. Hey guys, welcome back. It is just me today. Michelle is not feeling that great, and she's actually at work physically right now, but she's just not feeling great. So it is up to me to do the podcast this week. So I'm kind of going to go off on my own little tangent for a little bit. And no, I didn't pick this topic because, she's not here. A lot of this stuff was already on my mind, and she and I have been talking about it in general, about how to integrate it into the show. And I said, you know what? I got it. We got some stuff we're planning to talk about next time that I think y'all will love. But today, I want to talk to the boys. The men, whatever. The dudes. And it's kind of ironic, we were just talking about DEI, and now suddenly, we're, talking about men's stuff today. No, it's not misogynistic. Just, I'm a dude. I care about dude stuff. I feel like we don't talk about it enough. I don't think it's a zero sum, like, you only have this much time you can talk about certain things, and, you have to have exact proportions of talking about this thing versus this thing. No, this is something that means something to me, and I'm a dude. And I know there's a lot of dudes out there that will benefit from this and will relate to a lot of this. That's kind of why I'm going on the tangent that I am today. Those of you who are, most of you are probably familiar with the term Movember. I think it started as like No Shave November, and then it turned into like the mustache theme. Now an actual organization called Movember, and they're the largest charity organization in the world that I'm aware of, at least. Certainly the best funded one that addresses men's physical health, mental health, longevity, their social health, all of that. I will admit I've heard mixed things about their current leadership and currently how they manage their funds and all of those things. But I think that they are a good place to start for talking about men's health. And in EMS, there's a lot of us dudes. Yes, there's a lot of wonderful women out here with us too. I'm married to one. But women have their own needs, their own priorities that need to be emphasized and addressed specifically. Men have the same thing. I'll start talking today with Movember. They, on their website, they have what they call their 5 things that men should, let me read this right, men should know and do when it comes to their health. Honestly, I think it's, in a way, it's a little oversimplified, but it's very, very good, very healthy. So I want to go through each of those 5 things real quick, and then we'll talk about some bonus things on top of it that I would believe that should be covered that they didn't really get into much. So 5 things that men should know and do when it comes to their health, according to Movember. First one is spend time with people who make you feel good. And what they're trying to do here is say, hey, as men, we tend to self-isolate. As the old expression I heard growing up, that women communicate so that they can build relationships. Men communicate so that they don't have to communicate anymore. And that's a very normal, I guess, a stereotypical thing. Men just don't communicate. We don't do as well with building relationships. I think this is something that, has become cool. The lone wolf mentality, we don't really think through the ramifications of it. It sounds cool. It sounds mysterious and awesome. Like, you're just the loner. Are there some people that are cut out for that? Yeah. But most people need other relationships. And especially, obviously this means spend time with your partner in your romantic relationship, whatever that consists of, but also build relationships with other dudes. Plain and simple, right? Because what do? We isolate from each other. We get distant. We get distracted. We get so hyper-focused on our own little world that we forget to bond with other people. Now, does that mean that you shouldn't be discriminatory on who you bond with? No, and that's what they say here is finding people who make you feel good. I would argue you should prioritize people that challenge you and support you. So they support what you're doing in life. And they know you, they know what drives you, but they also will challenge you. They will also push you just a little bit. They will not let you become stagnant. And, it's kind of this popular thing of, oh, it's okay if you're, not doing this. It's okay if, you're not this way or you're not doing these things. But as a guy, me personally, I want to be challenged. I want to be around people that are going to push me and say, hey, I know you can do better. That doesn't mean that they don't accept me as an individual. It simply means that they know what your potential is and they can see through the stress, anxiety, depression, whatever it is that you're dealing with. And they can say, hey, you can do better than this. You can achieve more. I believe in you. I support you. I'm here for it. But get your ass up and keep going. As men, and I'm not saying that in a godforsaken, sexist, misogynistic way. It's just we like to, in our society, we like to highlight the quote stereotypical differences between men and women, and there are certain stereotypes. There's also just certain general psychological needs that are well documented, well researched by lots of people. We care more as men about, or we do better, if you will, being pushed, earning respect. We want respect from those around us. Doesn't have to be in a narcissistic way. We don't do well with mediocrity. Spend time with the people that push you out of that mediocre comfort zone. People that will talk with you about improving yourself, improving your education, improving your career, whatever it is. You need to be with people that are going to be able to tell you the truth, not just make you feel good. So that was number one. Spend time with people who make you feel good. Number two is talk more. It's so funny because there's so many ramifications of this particular thing. When it comes to problem solving, you're dealing with shit in life. You're dealing with conflict. You're dealing with things that you feel overwhelmed by, like you don't know what to do, or just simply, hey, I don't have the capacity to do all of this right now. So communicate those things. Communicate to your partner. Yes, men and women communicate differently. Learning how to communicate effectively is not, in a relationship especially, is not disingenuous. It's hard as fuck. Michelle can attest. I struggle with this. We have a running joke that I'm a lawnmower and she's a flower. Believe me, if you know Michelle, she's anything but a flower. When it comes to working through problems, I am the let's barrel through and deal with this. And she's like, but wait a minute, let's hold up a sec. That's tough. But the solution isn't to shut down. The solution is to learn to work through it, push through it, problem solve together. Both of you adapt. Both of you compromise. It's not this bullshit, oh, well, my man just needs to get where I'm at. No, you both need to get to where each other's at. You need to hold space for each other. You need to work together. It's not this lopsided bullshit. Oh, well, I'm the queen and he just needs to wait hand and foot and do what I say. And if he just did that, then life will go well. That's not how any relationship works, period. Whether it's a romantic relationship, whether it's in the workforce, whatever. Problem solving is never a one-sided thing. It's never a one-size-fits-all thing. It's a mutual thing. But also, just as you're working through issues in life as a guy, you need to communicate those things. You need to work through stuff. That doesn't mean that you need to be all like boohoo, cry, sensitive. It may mean that you need to go talk with someone in therapy. You may need a trauma therapist to counsel with. You may just need to find the right kind of people to bond with, the people who allow you to express, to be genuine, and work through stuff. But you can't do any of that if you don't communicate. So, Movember's, second of the 5 things men should know is talk more. Third, know the numbers. Now, this is what it's talking about here is know the numbers of your body. Get lab work done. Guys, once you hit 30, go get some fucking lab work done. And I'm not just talking about your basic metabolic panel, your RBCs, WBC. No, not just that. Go get your fucking hormones checked. All of them. Are there those freak guys who, have testosterone through the fucking roof and without having to take anything or do anything? Yes, there are. Most people, and the statistics are there, that the average testosterone level in men in America has dropped significantly in the past 20 to 30 years. Not only is it dropping off more, but the onset of that drop off is getting earlier and earlier and earlier. I'm 34 fucking years old. I finally got to the point where I swallowed my pride and said, I think I might have low testosterone. I was seeing just effects of my overall cognitive health, on my energy levels, range of things. And it's not like I was, sick or a fucking cuck or whatever. Just I wasn't feeling quite haven't been feeling myself for a long time. I said, you know what? I'm going to go get this figured out. So I went to a men's health clinic, and they basically had an agreement and said, hey, if it's your first time, you get free blood work. And then, that one time free blood work, and then a consultation to figure out, hey, do you need anything and what do you need? And they offer a variety of medical services there. It's really cool. Shocker, my testosterone came back less than half of the low end of normal. So us medical people, we know there's ranges of things, right? Your blood sugar, it's got to be, depending on what year you're talking about, somewhere between, 60 to 100. And then, below 60 is when we start getting concerned and want to treat things. Some people say now it's 80. Low is low. Well, mine, if you took the range of testosterone of accepted norms, go to the lowest number, cut it in half, that's down where I was. Which, okay, the question could be, so what's the big deal? Puts you at huge risk for prostate cancer. The increased stress on your body from not having its hormone levels met and balanced is not good. Your sleep is going to be impacted. Your muscle growth is going to be impacted. And again, not just talking about like going to being a fucking bodybuilder, just at a basic level, as a guy, your body needs that testosterone to be able to build muscle and be functional. I started doing testosterone replacement therapy. And it's not like, oh, you do all this to get jacked. No. It's a subset of hormone replacement therapy. And all it is just trying to bring your body back to a healthy norm. Saying, hey, you know what? We want to get I get blood work every 6 weeks or so. We want to bring your, levels back up to a healthy norm. Guys, it's fucking amazing. It really is. So if you're someone that falls into this category of you think you might need it, you probably fucking do. Now, obviously, just getting a shot of testosterone in your ass every week, that's cool. You still got to do the work. You still got to go to the gym. You still got to be productive. You still have to take responsibility for your actions, for your life, whatever. It's not like a Band-Aid, or a cure-all. It's a tool. Learn your body. You could have something else completely wrong with you. You could have, hyponatremia. You could have, your estrogen levels. Yes, guys, you have estrogen in your body too. Those could be way the fuck off. There's so many, your cortisol levels could be way the fuck off. Go get your cortisol levels checked. Know your body. Know those numbers that are relevant to you and your body. The fourth thing in their list of 5 things men should know is know thy nuts. Simple. And you think this is kind of a no-brainer, but guys, make sure you take care of your shit. You see something on there that's not supposed to be there, fucking deal with it. Go see a doctor. Go get tested. Go do the things. That should be a no fucking brainer. Keep the boys happy. Okay. We'll just move on from that one. The last one on their list is move more. Humans as a whole were never meant to be sedentary, period. We're not built for it. None of our biology is built for being sedentary creatures. We are meant to be moving, doing things, accomplish things, lifting heavy shit and putting it somewhere else, being physical. And I'm generically speaking, the male genetics, the way our bodies are built, and there again, you can go and look at the evidence of our bone structure and all that stuff is all geared towards increased physicality. That doesn't mean it's not important for women or that they're not physical in other ways, what the fuck ever. Every human is different. Speaking categorically, guys, get off your ass and move some more. Go fucking walk, go fucking run, go hike, go to the gym. Lift heavy shit and put it back down. Doesn't mean, it's not saying, oh, you need to go get fucking super jacked. Like, no, we can't all be Arnold Schwarzenegger. We can't all go compete for Mr. Olympia. Just because you shouldn't go to the extreme doesn't mean you shouldn't do anything. And that is an excuse that I have heard so much as, well, I can't do, whatever this is. So I'm just not even going to bother. No, move, get up, do shit. If you're going to sit on your ass, then you're at greater risk for chronic health problems down the road. We can't claim ignorance on this anymore. You're going to have DVTs, which could cause strokes. You're going to have heart problems. You're going to have all kinds of shit go wrong. So just move. Just get up and move. Do some shit. Do moderate physical activity consistently throughout the week. Do it with your kids, with your spouse, with your girlfriend, with your parents, whoever. Just get up and do shit. That's the 5, I guess you could say tenets. That's the 5 things that Movember thinks that men should know and do when it comes to their health. And I would say, by and large, I agree with it. I would argue, though, that there's a few more things that we really need to emphasize. And the first one is, you are what you eat. Except for pussy, that's totally fine, guys. And this is one that I think we all generally know, we can agree with, but we find all sorts of excuses to not do. Because let's face it, you put trash in, you get trash out. You feel like shit, you're probably eating like shit. Obviously, there's lots of other things that can make you feel like shit. Like we talked about hormone imbalances, all of that. But, and I've made this analogy multiple times. Think of your body like a car. The kind of car you have needs different types of fuel. If you are, let's say you drive a 2024 Corvette, but let's say you drive one of those. That's a fine piece of machinery, one of the best commercial sports cars in history. What do you think is going to happen if you put diesel in it? Or even maybe you still put gas in it, but you put like basic unleaded, not the premium shit that engine is actually built for and actually needs. What do you think is going to happen? The engine's either going to just flat out break, or it's just going to have subpar performance and drive like shit. Your body is no fucking different. Your body needs good fuel. It needs that support. And especially in EMS, where we're used to living off gas station food, we're on the run all the time. Meal prepping's tough. Most places don't have a refrigerator in the ambulance, and if you do, you're not supposed to put food in it. Not supposed to. I'll leave it at that. We pile up excuses of why we can't eat healthy, and I'll acknowledge it's inconvenient as fuck. It's really, really, really fucking hard to be able to eat healthy consistently doing this job. And so what happens is we say, it's really hard. It's basically impossible, so I'm just not even going to bother. Really? We loathe discomfort so much that we don't want to take the initiative to do these things. It doesn't work out well for us in the end. It does not work out well at all. Your body needs to be fueled appropriately. You do need to care about the calories. You do need to care about your macros, your protein, carbs, fats, all of that. The kinds of fats. You have to care about how much fiber is in shit. You got to look at what are your particular needs, because what your body needs may vary from what another person needs, especially depending on what your goals are. If you're trying to lose weight, build muscle, bulk up, cut weight. It all depends. It all depends on what you need. But that requires you to be intentional about it and figure out what you need in order to be healthy, in order to have a long-term healthy life. A good lifespan. Care about what you eat. Seriously, it's not hard. It's not difficult to care about what you eat. And if you actually spend a day to think through some meal preps, find things that you don't need to heat up, things that can stay in a cooler all day and are totally fine. And you can do that with things without breaking the bank. You can eat affordably and still be healthy, but it requires some intentionality. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a nutritionist. I'm not going to sit here and say, here's the exact plan you need to follow. Just go out there and do some digging. It's the age of information. You can find any fucking thing you want. Go figure it out. And this is one that, this is one that we all suck at. Sleep better. What makes this suck so much is that, unfortunately, in EMS and public service in general, because of the nature of what we do, that we have to be available, we have to have services available all the time. I won't say impossible to have healthy sleep patterns, but it's pretty damn close, especially if you work night shift. If you work night shift, your body's just fucked, period. Hate to say it, there's no other way around it. Your body is fucked. Spending some time to create some healthy sleep habits, especially on the days that you're off, and also think about when you're on shift, especially, obviously, if you work a night shift, you work a night shift. Your sleep pattern is going to have to invert completely. But say you work on 24s. What are you going to do throughout the day to prepare yourself to get as much rest as possible, to minimize the inconsistency as much as possible? Some people need to get on different sleep medications. I would highly, highly, highly recommend that you do some research before doing anything with melatonin. There's a lot of data out there that melatonin is super fucking bad for you in the long run, ultimately hurts your body, causes significant hormone dysregulation. There's so many other options out there. Hell, just this weekend, I went to Walmart and got like a $5 or $6 bottle of valerian root pills. And okay, sounds cuckoo, whatever. Yes, I believe in Western medicine, but I also believe that food is medicine. There are a lot of natural medicines, natural remedies that serve a purpose and that help. I'll tell you what, I took that shit last night and it's the best sleep I've had in years. So take it for what it's worth. Everybody is different. Things that work for me don't work for Michelle, and vice versa. So you need to experiment. If it's a serious problem, if you've got insomnia, consult your physician. Work with them on what you can do. But look for those ways to support healthier sleep, because if your sleep is fucking up, your cortisol levels are going to be higher, which is going to deplete your body of healthy nutrients, healthy hormones, all of those things. It's going to put you in overdrive all the time. And it's not healthy. It's not healthy for your body. It's not healthy for your relationships. It's not healthy for your relationship with your kids. It's hard to be present with your family, with your loved ones, with the people you care about when you can't sleep for shit. That's depressing as hell. Like, I've been there, done that, got the t-shirt. So find a way to sleep more and sleep better. This is one that I think that, well, I'll just go with it. Actively building self-assurance. Guys, a little confidence goes a long way. And I'm not saying like you need to have this overinflated, quote, narcissistic ego. Yes, your ego is important, but it's something it's a conversation for another time. There's a healthy amount of ego and there's an unhealthy amount of ego. But having some self-assurance, some self-confidence, I think we underrate that when it comes to dealing with men's health, mental health, your social health, all of it. It's not just a quote, physical thing. When you have men who are self-assured of who they are, of their purpose in life, of the roles that they fulfill, of their identity deep down, those men tend to be healthier. They tend to live longer. They tend to have better relationships. They tend to have healthier relationships with their kids. They tend to be more impactful in the world around them because they are taking the gifts that they have and they are asserting them, and they are offering them to the world around them. That's good and healthy. Like this whole, it's almost kind of like the defund the police movement. Like let's hit so hard on men and beat them down so much, then call anything, any sense of their confidence or any pride in masculinity, we're going to call it toxic. We're going to label it this, we're going to label it that. That's destroying the fabric of society, because you need men and women equally. So why would you actively degrade or push down or shut down an entire fucking gender? Just about half the goddamn species on this planet. Why would you put them down and shit on them to make yourself feel better? It's not right, it's not fair, it's not healthy. It's toxic as fuck. This isn't a zero-sum game. Like, we have to either have a bunch of femininity in culture or a bunch of masculinity, but we can't have both. You can have fucking both. If you're a masculine lesbian, cool. I don't give a fuck. Be what you're gonna be. And if you embody that, if you feel that the masculine energy, whatever you want to call it, is more natural to you, cool. Awesome. I don't care what you got between your legs. But we need to stop shitting on this, because we need people who are assertive, people who are dominant in a good and healthy way. So instead of trying to alienate and push each other's needs out of the way for the others, let's find ways to meet each other's needs collectively, to support each group having their own needs met. And I think that not just in our society in general, but I think in EMS as a whole, we don't do a good job at differentiating the needs of men and women in the workplace, and at home too. We don't do a very good job of it. I think that's something that, we should be encouraging people in general who want to be assertive. Let them be assertive. Let them be confident. Let them embrace that and own that and acknowledge that as a strength, rather than trying to shit on them for whatever reason. Just because you don't like somebody doesn't mean that you need to go out of your way to fuck with them. So it's not hard. It's not fucking hard, people. And the last thing, and this is, I guess maybe another controversial one for some people. It's okay to medicate. And let me be very specific when I say this. Self-medicating using things that are dangerous, addictive, questionable, doing that without intentionality, without oversight, without truly educating yourself is very dangerous. So there's a big difference between that form of, quote, self-medication, using medication as a tool, and and again, this is one of those things where you need to consult a physician, you need to do research, you need to figure you out. Okay. There's a number of different resources that are legal, that are available to people. There are prescription medications. Using a medication to deal with a mental health concern, 9 times out of 10, I have to be specific about that, 9 times out of 10 is going to be treating symptoms, not the underlying problem. Because your body, when you enter a particular mental state for X amount of time, your body is going to be affected by it. Those symptoms and it ends up perpetuating, because those negative symptoms make you feel worse, which increases your mental health. Whatever it is that you are dealing with PTSD, depression, anxiety, all of it, your body fuels that. Because if your brain is sending danger signals, your body gets stressed out. The more stressed out your body is, the more negative signals it sends to your brain, which stresses your brain out more, which stresses out your body more, and you have this delightful vicious cycle. So purposefully using medications to help break that cycle and isolate the problem is a good, healthy thing. Now, that doesn't mean that it has to just be prescription means. There are a number of different tools that have been used for thousands of years all across the world that have their own place. You have parts of the country where certain levels of THC are legal for medicinal purposes. Specifically where I live, CBD is a legal thing. Kratom has good and healthy purposes. Again, where it's legal, because there are unfortunately some states that have outlawed it. There's a number of things out there that you can utilize to help manage those symptoms and help as you're doing the work to address your mental health. Those things are different. Now, they can be used as coping mechanisms. Even the good and healthy things can be used as coping mechanisms, but they should be used in a way to steer you towards solving the problem, fixing the problem. We need to stop glamorizing the things that are hurting us. We need to stop glamorizing the excessive nicotine intakes. We need to stop glamorizing the alcoholism. That's the one thing I have seen as one of the most toxic character qualities in the first responder community is alcoholism. And I'm not saying that I am not saying that in a shaming way of the people who are legitimately struggling with it. The people who are genuinely fighting an addiction, who are trying to push through it so hard. Who I am speaking about, specifically speaking against, is the ones who don't give a damn, who aren't willing to try, who know that what they're doing is harmful to themselves, their kids, their loved ones, and they say, fuck it, I'm doing it anyway. If that's your mentality, you are a self-destructive individual, and no amount of talking from me or anyone around you is going to fix it until you fix it yourself. Until you dig down and say, I want some help. Cool. Awesome. Get some help. Go talk to the right people. I have known people who have had amazing outcomes going through AA. I've also seen people that have not had good outcomes going through AA. It's not it's just like we talked about earlier with therapy. Sometimes you need talk therapy. Sometimes you need something else. There's a variety of ways to solve a problem, but you need to actually want to solve the problem, or it's never gonna stop. It's never gonna get fixed. So think about that. Think in those terms of it's your responsibility to address your issues, men especially, whatever it is, your mental, physical, social well-being is your responsibility to fix. It is not someone else's. It is just your responsibility to fix. Now, you can and should rely on other people to assist with that. Engage your partner with it. Engage your kids even. There's ways to deal with that, not deal with that. They shouldn't have to carry all the same burdens that you do. But in general, you can find ways to incorporate your family into your healing process, whatever it is. But do something about it, because ultimately, you're the only one that can help you. You're the only one who can make that decision internally that you want to get better. And yes, it is okay to medicate in a safe, intentional, regulated way. Yes, medication's okay. And as a side note for you guys that are pushing off getting a sleep study because you know that you have sleep apnea and you're just too stubborn to wear a fucking CPAP, go get the fucking CPAP. Take responsibility of your health. You can fucking die from sleep apnea. Just a heads up. It's called apnea for a reason, and you know better. That's all I got. If you learned something, awesome. Share it with your friends. If you were offended, good. You probably should be. And we'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.